Cell, structure and function. Introduction. The body of an organism is made up of millions of cells. Many cells that perform the same function come together to form a tissue. Tissues of different types come together to form organs. Many organs together form an organ system. The organ systems come together to form an organism. This is the structural organization of the body. Just as bricks are assembled to make a house, similarly, cells are assembled to make the body of every organism. However, bricks are non-living things, but cells in living organisms are complex living structures. Thus, cell is the basic structural unit or the building block of an organism. There are millions of living organisms of different shapes and sizes. Let us have a look at some of them. Discovery of cells. The discovery of the cells dates back to the year 1665, when Robert Hooke observed slices of cork, which is a part of the bark of the tree, under a simple magnifying device. He observed partitioned boxes or compartments like a honeycomb in the cork slices. Each box was separated from the other by a wall. He named each box as a cell. However, these cells were dead cells. The living cells could be studied only after 150 years after Robert Hooke's observation, as new and improved microscopes were discovered. Today, due to improved microscopes with high magnification powers, we know a lot about the function and structure of the cells. The parts of the cells are colored with stains or dyes to study their detailed structure under the microscope. Classification of cells based on number. Look at the mango tree or an elephant. Can you guess the number of cells in them? Both the banyan tree and the elephant are made up of billions and trillions of cells. Even we humans have trillions of cells. Organisms can be made of a single cell or many cells. Single-celled organisms are called unicellular organisms. Amoeba and paramecium are unicellular organisms. Organisms made up of more than one cell are called multicellular organisms. Each multicellular organism starts its life as a single cell, which is a fertilized egg. The fertilized egg cell then multiplies, and the number of cells increases, and thus a multicellular organism with billions of cells is formed. Unicellular organisms can capture and digest its food, excrete, grow, and reproduce. They can perform all necessary functions that multicellular organisms perform for survival. Multicellular animals carry out the specialized functions with the help of groups of specialized cells called tissues, which in turn form organs and organ systems. Classification of cells based on shape. The cell membrane that encloses all the components of a cell gives the cell its shape. The cell wall present in plants and some bacteria also add to the rigidity of its shape. Amoeba, which is a unicellular organism, has no definite shape. It keeps changing its shape. Projections of various lengths produce out of the body of the amoeba. These projections are pseudopodia. Pseudo means false and podia means feet. These help the amoeba move and capture its food. In multicellular animals, different cells have different shapes. The shape of the cell is determined by its function. Some cells are round and spherical, like the RBCs. The muscle cells are spindle-shaped, that is long, and pointed at both ends. Nerve cells or neurons are very long and have many branches. These cells help in transfer of messages throughout the body, thus helping in the controlling and coordination of the entire body. White blood cells, that is WBCs, that help fighting diseases are the only cells in the human body that can change their shape. Classification of cells based on size. The size of the cells varies across organisms. Some cells of living organisms can be seen with the naked eye, like the hen's egg. The other cells in living organisms can be very microscopic and cannot be seen with the naked eye. They need to be enlarged or magnified by a microscope. In bacteria, the smallest cell is 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer, which is a millionth of a meter. The largest cell is the egg of an ostrich, measuring 170 millimeters by 130 millimeter. Let us summarize what we have learned so far. All organisms are made up of organ systems, which are made of organs. Organs are made of smaller parts called tissues. The tissues are in turn made of even smaller units called cells. The cell is the basic structural unit of an organism. Robert Hooke in 1665 coined the term cell after he first observed them in cork. Cells can be of various shapes and sizes. Some cells can be viewed under the microscope, while some, like the egg of a hen, can be seen with the naked eye. Unicellular organisms have a single cell. Multicellular organisms have many cells.